Former President Jacob Zuma is back in court for the corruption trial and is, of course, expected to bring yet another application to have State Prosecutor Billy Downer removed from the case. Zuma accuses Downer of leaking his confidential medical records to the media, but he recently lost an appeal for a private prosecution against both Downer and journalist Karen Moore. Senior reporter eNCA's Siphamandla Goge is at the High Court in Pietermaritzburg and joins us now for more on the stories. Siphamandla, very warm good morning to you. We had this conversation just yesterday in terms of what is expected today from, the defense, and as far as Jacob Zuma's legal representatives are concerned, it seems it's clear they may be bringing that appeal application once again to have Billy Downer removed.
Well, this is their fresh bid, really, to have Billy Downer removed. It's something that the former president has been pushing for a number of years now. Courts have said to him, we don't think you have a case here. Your prospects of success are very limited. That's why initially it was dismissed. But remember, there have been new developments in this matter with Judge Bidkun recusing himself. Now you have Judge Bosnati Cili who has taken over this matter. And the former president said, well, hang on, there is a new judge. Let me just go to him and state my case again. We are of the view that maybe he will listen to us better because we have been trying with previous judges. They have not been listening to us. So what is currently happening is that the former president has decided to go for round number 2 now. He is trying to say, well, let me just go for it. But let me not waste too much time because I've got Mr. Zwanele Manye who speaks on behalf of the Jacob Zuma Foundation. Babu Manye, thank you very much for your time. What are the main points of the former president when it comes to this application? We are back here again, still wants to remove Billy Downer. He's been unsuccessful before. What makes him think he will be successful this time around?
Greetings, Baba, and greetings to your viewers. I think today we're here again for the Stalingrad tactics of the NPA. Everybody knows that Downer is a serial leaker. He started leaking information way back in 2008 to the Mail and Guardian. He continues today to keep leaking information. The same man, I mean, how can it be that NPA doesn't understand just the pure basics of conflict? I mean, you don't have to be a lawyer to see that this is wrong.
But the courts have said on the issue of the allegation of leaking, the courts, including this one in Pietermaritzburg, Judge Bidkun said that argument is relying on speculation and hearsay. There is no evidence.
That matter is still pending at the Concord. As we speak now, even the SCA judgment on the matter is still pending in Concord. So that decision is still not there. So don't speak of it as if it's a final point.
I'm quoting Judge Bidkun. That's what he said in his judgment here.
I'm just telling you what is the legal position as things stand. As we stand right now, the matter is still before the courts. So it's still not finished yet. Judge Kun articulated his opinion, we noted his opinion, and we have escalated his opinion. So the finality on that matter has not been reached. So we're here today on a matter that should have long been resolved. I mean, clearly, are you saying that the NPA hasn't got anybody else to do this case? On October last year, we should have already been dealing with the main case, but we're busy now with the same issue. I mean, this very week, on the 1st of November, Downer is going to be here again as an accused on the private prosecution. How can it be, even on the eyes of the public, that this one man at one point is in the dock box responding to being an accused in a criminal matter, and the next day wants to be here to be prosecuting? Even in terms of the eyes of the public, this looks very bad.
But you've been to the Supreme Court of Appeal on this Billy Downer and Karen Moore matter, and the Supreme Court of Appeal, the judges there basically, I don't want to use the word slammed, but that's what they basically said about your application to them.
No, those judges said whatever they've said, but as things stand right now, that decision of theirs has been appealed at the Constitutional Court, and that's why the matter is live. So whatever they've said there counts for nothing as far as today is concerned.
You mentioned the Stalingrad approach. The state and the prosecutions alleges that former President Jacob Zuma is the one who's applying these Stalingrad tactics. Judge Bidkun said legal recourse allows him to appeal all the way to the Concord. He said whoever is unhappy with what he's doing must not be unhappy because the law allows it. But when it comes to these unreasonable delays, does at least the former president take some responsibility, together with the state, by the way? Both parties here are responsible for these unreasonable delays.
No, there's no there's nothing that His Excellency President Zuma needs to account for. The only people that have been delaying this case since 2005 is the NPA. You must remember that not once, I think twice, that they had the case saying they are not going to prosecute. Now, we are now told it's 20 years that we've wasted, when in fact part of that 20 years is squarely in the hands of the NPA.
And the former president who's been appealing, not that he's not allowed to do so, but also he's been appealing. That's why there have been some delays.
That's right. I mean, it will have a chilling effect that if someone appeals and someone red cards and says you're wasting time. The main reason you have these kinds of senior courts is because we know that junior courts make mistakes all the time. So in this case, even Kun made his own mistakes, and we're still dealing with Kun's mistakes.
Summarize it for me. Any new argument that the former president is bringing today?
Listen carefully to Advocate Mpofu today. You will hear all of that.
Is the former president coming? Will he be physically present? I see his security detail is here.
Yeah, most definitely. His Excellency President Zuma is going to be here. Even next week, when they prosecute Downer, he's also going to be here. He is always a disciplined member of the civil society, so whenever court requires him, he's always here.
I'm about to go to Advocate Zuma here. He will disagree with you because he says you are responsible for these delays. Baba, thank you very much for your time. Okay. That is Mzwanele Manye, who speaks on behalf of the Jacob Zuma Foundation. Right now, let's get some more reaction from the NPA. We are joined by Advocate Zuma. Advocate, thank you very much for your time. Lawyers and legal experts have said there are no prospects of success for this application. We know for a fact that the prosecutions and the state will be vehemently opposing it. On what grounds?
Siphamandla, it is undesirable of me, and I've always avoided wrestling in the media with Mr. Manye on issues that the courts have pronounced and made themselves clear and made findings against Mr. Zuma. However, it is quite disheartening that he repeats allegations that have no basis. Findings have been made that Mr. Downer did not leak any document. The application has no merit, it is frivolous, it is spurious, it is time wasting, it is abuse of process, it's going to be dismissed because it has no merit.
And why we are here in court today, others have said that, well, this will simply lead to the ongoing unreasonable delays that we have seen when it comes to this matter. Are you ready to resume and continue with this trial?
Are you referring to the criminal trial of corruption or this application?
Yes, please. No, I'm referring to the criminal trial.
Siphamandla, we've always made it clear that our ducks are on the road. We have a formidable case against the former president. There was a trial date. They pleaded to the charges. All we're waiting for is a resumption of trial so that we can put our witnesses on the witness box in order to sustain the charges that we've preferred against the accused and Thales. So this is once again another indication that Mr. Zuma does not want to see himself being subjected to a criminal prosecution, which he has been asking for years. It's over 20 years now that we've been engaged in this protracted litigation. There are these interlocutory applications that are brought, dismissed, pronounced upon, findings made. I don't know why we're in court again on a matter that Judge Kun ruled and the SCA had dismissed.
The former president blames the NPA for these unreasonable delays, but both parties here, including himself, who has been, utilizing his constitutional right to appeal every process and every matter that has been brought against him. Are we going to see this playing out going forward where there is a blame game because the former president blames you and your team, well, not you personally, but the prosecutions in this case? So are both parties taking responsibility for these unreasonable delays?
We have the record that speaks for itself, that we have never initiated any interlocutory applications in respect of Mr. Zuma and the NPA. Our focus and our resources have been channeled towards the criminal prosecution of the case. And therefore, there is no discussion or debate on who is responsible for the delays.
Baba, thank you very much for your time. That is advocating to Zimaka, who's been speaking to us here. As we continue to get more reaction, now we are joined by Thabani Mfeka here, a lawyer in Athens. Thank you very much for your time. Both parties are blaming each other for these unreasonable delays. What do you make of this application today by the former president? Do you think there is anything new that he will be bringing?
Thank you, Mr. Goge. As per our discussion yesterday, I don't think there's anything new that you're going to be seeing in this matter. And quite frankly, what is being done here today is a rehashing of the arguments that have already been before the court, in my view. However, we must wait and see what the court will say, as all of this rests upon the court to either continue to vehemently state that this is Stalingrad, or alternatively say that Mr. Zuma is indeed exercising his rights of a fair trial.
But all the matters that the former president is arguing about, that he's bringing back, like you say, it's rehashing, because courts have pronounced on those. In fact, if I were to quote Judge Bidkoon, when the former president made his initial application, the first one, Judge Bidkoon ruled that, listen, there is no evidence on the allegations that you are bringing. It's hearsay. It's all about gossip. So therefore, there are no prospects of success. I'm dismissing this matter. And he's back again here. He's hoping that a new judge will perhaps listen to him differently. Do you foresee that happening? I don't want you to speculate, but prospects of success.
Well, I do not see anything is going to materialize from this argument. What is interesting to be seen is whether or not any judgment that is going to be made by this court with a Judge clearly sitting is not going to put him in the same position as a Judge Kuhn, whereby when he dealt with the matter of this vexatious nature, he ended up actually dealing with the merits. So you might possibly be seeing another recusal that might happen along the way.
And that will mean you and I are likely to retire without this matter being finalized in the courts of law.
Certainly you more than me, but yes, we're certainly going to be seeing quite a long stretch in this matter. We do not foresee any possibility of its conclusion anytime soon.
Mfeka, thank you very much for your time. That is Thabani Mfeka there, unpacking what we are expecting to transpire in court today. Well, we are expecting proceedings to get underway just after 9:30 or 10 o'clock here at the High Court Division sitting in Pietermaritzburg, when we are also awaiting the arrival of the former president himself, as his spokesperson for the foundation, Mr. Mzwanele Manye, has confirmed that he is going to be attending court today.
And we'll be indeed giving our viewers, insights into what exactly is happening in court this morning. But I think many South Africans, as Siphamandla, will have to agree with you and also agree with your guest there, Thabani, that perhaps it might be long till we see an ending to this particular case. Postponements upon postponements and appeals upon appeals may just be the order of the day. We'll have to wait and see. I stand to be corrected, but I think South Africans also at this stage might be a bit fatigued with what's been happening out in court. We'll keep them abreast and, of course, updated with you on the ground. eNCA senior reporter, that's Siphamandla Goge, keeping us, of course, all updated with what's expected from the case regarding Jacob Zuma and Telus being implicated in corruption there. He still wants Billy Downer to be removed. This is due to what he says he leaked confidential medical records, and we'll see that application expected to be, of course, handed over today.